Disturbed by the incessant clampdown on journalists by government forces in Nigeria and its implications on the freedom of expression as enshrined in the nation's constitution, the country director of Amnesty International Nigeria, Barrister Sayo Jigo, has appealed to government to respect and uphold the freedom of information. She commended the Nigerian media for standing up and ensuring that one of their own, Mr. Tony Ezimakor, was released from the Directorate of State Service DSS detention. Ojigo made the charge in Abuja during the celebration of the release of Abuja Bureau Chief of the daily independent newspapers. Mr. Tony Ezimakor was held by the DSS for allegedly writing a story that did not go down well with the government. She also called for the interrogation of hate speech and fake news, as according to her, government could hide under it to stifle the freedom of expression, which she said is one of the fundamental human rights of citizens.
I think right now the only country in West Africa where the death penalty is actively being used and actively being suggested as the answer to all problems in the country. Because who would have thought a few years ago that speech, and even the label hate speech, is relative. We need to interrogate that hate speech. What does it entail? What is inside it that determines the right for someone to take another person's life? And put that within the context that we're going in. We would require everyone to be able to participate in this, but most importantly to increase their knowledge about what freedom of expression really is. Because until we do that, everybody will talk about hate speech, fake news, and we become a society where we live in a state of the alternative truth, which is the dangerous part, whereby someone tells you this is the reality and you believe it. Meanwhile, that is not the truth.
Amnesty International Nigeria researcher Mr. Damian Ugu appealed to the media to join the organization in demanding for the release of Abiri Jones, the editor of the Source magazine, who has been in DSS detention for over 2 years without formal trial. He added that several other journalists and bloggers are languishing in DSS detention facilities across the country, especially in Anambra and Katsina states. He said that the organization will not rest until Abiri Jones is released to his family, dead or alive. The Executive Director of Citizen Advocacy for Social and Economic Rights, Barrister Frank Tietie, said that the media has a constitutional duty to inform the public and hold government accountable.
Every professional journalist who knows his onions must stand up and exercise his rights under Section 22 of the Constitution and continue to write stories that are true to facts and true stories that will expose corruption and ineptitude in governance.
On his part, the free journalist, Mr. Tony Ezimakor, who said that press freedom is sacrosanct, noted that the detention came to him as a surprise. While narrating his ordeal and the psychological impact of the arrest on his health condition, the journalist said that authorities often misinterpret reports that did not sing praises of government. He expressed his heartfelt gratitude to those who fought for his release, especially the media and civil society community in the country.
I'm so emotionally subdued considering the kind of response and reception that has been thrown up by this particular incident. I'm so glad and happy. But first, let me thank God Almighty, who stirred up a global tempest of sorts that moved people towards the consciousness of securing my release. If it were not for such divine intervention, I don't think we'll be here.
A human rights activist, Deji Adeyanju, appealed to government to stop muzzling and intimidating the press in the interest of democracy in the country.
Everything Tony said is the truth. This government has become the biggest funder of Boko Haram by paying Boko Haram ransom money. There's no way in the world that you will pay Boko Haram money and expect Boko Haram not to get stronger. Boko Haram has become more daring. Look at it. That is evident in the abduction of 110 Dapchi girls. And we told them specifically that you must release this guy unconditionally.
A popular musician, Mr. Charles Oputa, Charlie Boy, said that the arrest and detention of journalists in the country was aimed at intimidating them into silence and submission. He noted that such intimidation and affront on the freedom of expression was inimical to democracy and therefore must be resisted with all vigor.